Hello there, welcome to Victoria World. I hope you're well relaxed. Today, I'm going to tell you about the story of a girl who lived in a village that was too perfect. There was a village called Eldermore. It looked like something out of a storybook. At first glance, it was calm, too calm. But if you stayed long enough, you would feel it. A stillness that went too deep. No one raised their voice. No one laughed too freely. No one stood out. It was not written anywhere, but everyone knew the rule: be proper, polished, and perfect. And over time, the people of Eldermore became exactly like that. They softened their mistakes before anyone could see them. They tucked away the parts of themselves that didn't fit. They learned to smile the same way, speak the same way, and live the same way. Little by little, without anyone noticing, they stopped being fully themselves. Among them lived a girl named Olivia. Olivia wasn't trying to be different. She didn't want attention. She didn't want to break rules. But something inside her never quite settled. Her thoughts would wander to strange places. She said things at the wrong time. She laughed when the room was quiet. And sometimes, when she wanted to speak the most, she stayed silent. Stand straight, Olivia, her teacher would remind her gently. Sit properly, her mother would say. Try to be like everyone else, people would suggest with polite smiles. Olivia always nodded. She really did try, but it felt like trying to hold her breath forever. Sooner or later, something in her would slip out again. One evening, when the fog hung heavier than usual, Olivia wandered farther than she ever had before. Past the last row of cottages, past the carefully trimmed hedges, into a part of Eldermore that felt forgotten. There, hidden behind wild, overgrown bushes, stood a small cottage. It didn't belong, which is exactly why she noticed it. A flickering light moved behind its window. Her curiosity pulled her closer. The door creaked open before she could knock. Inside, nothing was as it should be. Paintings leaned against every wall, crooked, layered, unfinished, overflowing. Colors clashed boldly. Shapes refused to make sense. Some were messy, some were overwhelming, some strangely beautiful. But all of them felt alive in a way she had never seen before. At the center of it all, an old man painted, completely lost in his work. "You're not from around here, are you?" he said, without looking up. Olivia hesitated. "Hi, I've never seen this place before." "Most people haven't," he replied calmly. "They stop noticing things that don't fit." She stepped closer, studying the paintings. "They're not perfect." The man smiled faintly. "Exactly." Olivia frowned. "In the village, everything has to be." This time, he looked at her, not critically, not carefully, just honestly. "And how does that feel?" he asked. She opened her mouth, then paused. No one had ever asked her that before. "It feels..." She searched for the word. "Empty." The man nodded, as if he had been expecting that answer all along. He dipped his brush into paint and dragged it across the canvas in a rough, uneven stroke. "When did everything become so careful?" he asked quietly. Olivia didn't know. It had always been that way. He handed her a brush. "Try," he said. She shook her head. "I'll ruin it." "That's the only way to make it yours," he said gently. Her fingers trembled as she dipped the brush into color. At first, her strokes were small, controlled, safe. Then she stopped. She didn't fix the line. She didn't correct the shape. She just let it be. And something inside her loosened. The next stroke was bolder. Then another, messy, uneven, and real. Her heart began to race, not from fear, but from something she couldn't quite name. Freedom, maybe. The next morning, Eldamore looked the same, but Olivia didn't. She walked through the streets without thinking about every step. She didn't straighten herself every time someone looked at her. She simply existed. She paused in the middle of path and looked up at the sky, really looked at it, as if seeing it for the first time. Someone passing by slowed down. Olivia noticed them and smiled. Not the practiced, perfect smile everyone used, a real one. Slightly uneven, a little uncertain, but warm. The person hesitated, then returned it. It wasn't perfect either, but it felt real. Later at the bakery, Olivia laughed just a little too loudly. The room froze. For a moment, everyone held its breath. Then from somewhere in the back, someone let out a quiet chuckle. Another followed, and then another. Not controlled, just naturally. That was the moment something shifted. Not loudly, not dramatically, but deeply. Like the first crack in something that had been held too tightly for too long. People began to loosen, just a little. A crooked picture frame stayed crooked. A conversation wandered without being pulled back. A child spun in a circle instead of standing still. Each small movement made the next one easier, and Olivia didn't try to lead it. She didn't tell anyone what to do. She simply stopped hiding. And somehow that gave everyone else permission to do the same. The village didn't fall apart. It softened. The silence didn't disappear. It breathed. And for the first time in a long time, Eldamore felt alive. Weeks later, Olivia returned to the hidden cottage. It was empty. No old man, no paintings, just quite bare walls. For a moment, she wondered if she had imagined it all. Then she saw it. Faint, uneven words scratched into the wall. It said, "Perfect things don't leave a mark. Imperfect ones do." Olivia traced the letters with her fingers and smiled softly. As she stepped back into the foggy streets, Eldamore was still neat, still quiet, still careful, but it wasn't empty anymore. No one is perfect, and maybe that was never the problem. The parts of you that don't quite fit, the parts you try to hide, the parts that feel a little too much, those are the parts people remember. Those are the parts that leave a mark.